Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous, and here is her story. The story change. For a while, I had been dating a guy at work. I wanted to finally go boyfriend and girlfriend status, but showed at every opportunity that he was not interested in defining our relationship. However, if another man showed interest or sent flowers to me at work, that would be an issue for him. A month ago or so, my back tensed up. I was unable to put together a heavy piece of furniture. I asked him to put it together for me, and he was excited to do so. I found that odd that he would volunteer without being asked. The day comes, and of course, he doesn't text to let me know he cannot come see me. Monday at work, he still doesn't come talk to me. Not a single word. I was hurt and on fire angry. This is even more angering because not less than 1 week ago, we had a conversation about this very topic. That if he cannot see me for any reason, just text me and let me know what was going on. He didn't think he was He did the very thing he promised he wouldn't do again. I decided then to cut him out of my life. Right, you should have cut him out a while ago. He doesn't really want to be with you like that, but he doesn't really want you to be with anyone else, and he doesn't have the nerve. He don't have the nerve to cut it off. And he's one of these guys, I think, he thinks grass is greener on the other side, or he's always looking for someone better, but he's using you as almost like break glass in case of emergency. Whenever he came into my laboratory, we work in Silicon Valley, and let me tell you, hive mentality is real. I am a conservative Republican and he is a Marxist. Guess which one is most accepted? This has not been very easy for me in California. I miss New York. Why would you, if you're a conservative Republican, why would you even want to be around a Marxist? Like, why? Why? You know what he is. Well, if he's a Marxist, okay, it just explains his behavior even more. To continue, whenever he came into my laboratory, I would get up and leave, or I would turn around and use another computer. This would go on for about a week until one day he was horseplaying with one of my teammates and he threw a box of gloves at him, but almost hit me instead. I turned around and stared at him and walked out of my laboratory. I had to calm down. I was really upset. What the hell was I thinking? A few days later at work, a tool that I specialized on working on was tasked to him. I was so upset, I started crying to another coworker. Unbeknownst to me, that coworker went to Steven about my crying. Steven said he went to my boss and got him to ball up and let me go in his place. Steven came into my laboratory and couldn't wait to tell me. I was so upset that it didn't set in that he had given up his place for me. The next morning when I saw him, after I thought about it, I talked to him the next morning. We kissed and made up and made plans to see each other that Friday. Why are you into this guy? I don't get it. Friday comes and we're out walking to get dinner. I go to grab his hand. He pushes it away. I looked at him like he was crazy. He said to me, "You got so upset at me, I got upset, so I started talking to another girl." He started to describe the girl. She is from my home state. She has the same education background, even same spirituality as I. Also, that is the same girl would be spending 5 nights with him in his bedroom. I was heartbroken, but I had no right to be. We weren't official, but why the song and dance to get back into my good graces? I did my hurt as much as I could, and we made our way back to his place. Why wouldn't you just walk away from him at that point? Turns out the boss never said yes to me doing the work, but a maybe, which means no. Steven heard what he wanted to hear and told me what he thought I wanted to hear. It took me 15 minutes to seduce him into wanting to have sex with me. I denied him, of course. He walked me back to my car and we proceeded to have a very deep conversation about his life. The life of a Marxist? How deep could he possibly be? What deep conversation are you having with a sociopath like this? He's a sociopath and you are hooked on him for whatever reason. You think you can fix him, you think you can break him, you want what you can't have. Okay? And he's going to keep playing with you because you're allowing it. Deep conversation. What deep conversation? He's an idiot. And at the end of the day, he's probably dangerous because if he's a Marxist, he thinks he can take what he wants by force. If he's a Marxist, he can rationalize anything in his own mind why it's okay for him to act the way he's acting. A deep conversation about his life. There is nothing deep about their lives. Nothing. This is very high school. Again, this is very high school and this is happening in a laboratory. The get up when he's coming in and going to another community. This is a job. You're working. You got a serious job, and you're playing, and you're playing right into these high school semantics with him, because you're chasing something that you can't have, and he knows it, and he's playing you. He don't feel the same way about you. He just doesn't. He's a Marxist user. Use you up, spit you out for whatever he can get off you. His unstable mother and his horribly abusive father, sexual at a very young age. A story too detailed and graphic to be a lie. It is like the more he hurt me and I came back to him, the more he'd reveal about his past. I listened. This is when I knew without a doubt that he was a narcissist. He's reeling you in. He's reeling you in. He knows what to say. He knows some of it may be true, some of it may be embellished. Okay, but he's using it to his advantage. Because this is the narcissist, this is him making the choice to use it to his advantage to then further excuse, oh, well, this is why I do what I do to you, so X, Y, and Z. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. These things he does to you, he is planning out ahead of time. They are calculated. This is why it's not deep. It's not deep. He was telling you what you wanted to hear because you wanted to work out with this guy. And he just don't like you like that. Don't like anyone like that. He is a sociopath. It is now time to unlove him. This is the worst part of the game. Well, at least you admit you're in love with him. He don't love you. He doesn't. It's a game to him. It's always going to be a game to him. And you're letting it affect your job, your professional life. After standing up to me 2 more times, he finally came over to my house to build the vanity. While in my home, I said to him, "Thank you for putting up my furniture, but I just want to tell you that you rejected me so much. You've pushed off my hand and you're going to have this girl come over to your house. You will have sex with her. I'm not stupid, so I accept that you don't want me. I accepted his rejection with no hate in my heart. You shouldn't have even had him there. Okay, because you're still telling him these things, but he's in your house. If you were going to be done with them, be done with them. You're still trying to play with the monster here. You should have had somebody else build it yourself, hire somebody. He changed his tune. Yeah, temporarily, I'm sure he will, because he doesn't want his supply cut off. He doesn't want his break glass in case of emergency option taken away from him, because that's all you are. Break glass in case of emergency option. That's it. That's it. That's all you are. That's all you will ever be. And if you are a conservative Republican, you know better than this. You know better than trying to trifle with these people. They're sick. They're deranged. They're the worst of the worst. Again, though, he's not your problem. Whatever led you to put up with this bullshit, to be attracted to this, to want to try to tame this shit, is what your problem is. He said, you don't understand military relationships. He's a former Marine. I thought he was a Marxist. How is he a former Marine and a Marxist? She might as well have a dick. I'm just not good with PDA. I just internally shook my head. When he first told me about this girl, he pushed my hand away because he liked this girl. Now it was because he didn't like PDA. Now this girl could have a dick. What does that even mean? It means he's a pathological liar. It doesn't matter. He can lie at the drop of a dime. He pushed your hand away and told you at that point to make it seem like, to hurt you, to make it to tell you you're not up to standard. This is why you don't have him in your house after that point to begin with. I kissed him a few times and I just told him, you don't want me, your actions have shown me you don't. Then he hits me with, you are super attractive, super intelligent, you check me on my bullshit, and you push me to do better in my life. I didn't understand what he was trying to say because what he was doing was opposed to his words. I hugged him and kissed him again. That's desperate. He just sees you as dead, like this chick just wants it so bad from me. I could just keep playing with her and playing with her and playing with her. He said, you are my favorite nerd, inside joke. That is very high form of praise around SV. He left and I thought that was that. In my mind, we broke up or ended whatever it was gracefully. With you hugging and kissing him? Are you serious? At work, I stopped talking to him. I wouldn't respond to him in any way. At one point, he was working with me and said, I came to your house, built your furniture, and now you won't talk to me. I don't know what I did wrong. Are you insane? You told me you're about to have another woman in your house to sleep in your bed, and then in 15 minutes, you want to have sex with me, and you don't know what you did wrong. I just shook my head and kept it moving. Whenever I was around him and another coworker, he brought up the girl, or when the girl was coming over to his house, or he announced that he would be in the lab for a few days because of the girl. And the best part, he is actively getting this girl hired in my laboratory, and it looks like it will happen too. And somehow he doesn't understand why I'm not talking to him. As of recent, another coworker asked me out in front of him. Is this high school? What kind of job is this where everybody's asking each other out in front of everybody? This place is run like a fucking high school. And what I would suggest to you is to find a new laboratory to work in. Okay? Because you're working in a fucking romper room. You're working in a romper room. How does the job getting done? This is as somebody who had to run large staffs and had to deal with this nonsense of employee, this bullshit. I don't understand. Look, what my suggestion to you is, I would find a new place to work. That would be unless you still want to see what's going on with him and you think you're somehow internally torturing him by not talking to him. Because I'm going to call you out. This is some high school bullshit right here. And if I was the owner of the lab, I'd fire everybody involved. Honestly. If I knew this was going on. If I knew this was going, because I don't care if you say the job, it can't be. It can't, because you can't be focused on your job if this shit is going on. There's no way. As good as the lab might be doing at this point, I'm thinking to myself, how much better would it be doing without this fucking nonsense? From someone who should know better. What would you expect from dating a Marxist? As of recent, another coworker asked me out in front of him. Also, he saw us walking together around the building. Is this I'm sorry, but is this a high school? A day or so after that, I saw a calculator. I lent Steven, returned to my desk, and I asked back for it in June. Why give it back now? It's September. I took it, put it back in his hand. I didn't let him talk to me. Just took his hand and put the calculator in his hand. We had a flying monkey, but I checked him at the gate. Steven's friend went to warn the new guy about me. Jesus H. Christ. You need to get out of the job. You need to go find somewhere else to work. I guess I'm crazy now. Whatever. I just found out that ignoring it all works. But is the falling out of love part that is the worst. But the crazy thing is this. When I backed out gracefully, he changed the story. The worst part is that he expected me to believe it. There were other lies. Is that it's only the ones that hurt that stand out. Question. Why the story change? Because he's a sociopath. Because you are the break in glass in case of emergency option. That's why. He just doesn't want to lose his emergency option. And you're willing to put up with it. Why return the calculator after all this time? Who gives a shit? Because he still wants his option back. Who gives a shit? He's a Marxist sociopath. Why blame me for a choice to talk to another girl and then try to get that girl to work in my laboratory? Because he's a sociopath. Because you're playing high school fucking games and not concentrating on your goddamn jobs. That's why. That's why. That's why, because you're playing high school games with a fucking childlike Marxist sociopath. That's why. Why bring the girl around me when we aren't talking? Because he knows it's burning you because you're writing to me about it. That's why. Because you won't let it go. Even though you're saying you're letting it go, you're not letting it go. If you were really letting it go, you'd get out of the job. You'd go find another laboratory to work in. Okay, you'd stop playing into the high school bullshit, because that's what's going on here, is high school fucking bullshit. And I'm telling you, if I owned the lab, I'd fire everyone involved. Everyone, because I don't care what results you're producing at this point. It should be better. There's no way it's operating where it should be operating at with this type of high school nonsense going on. Period. You want to know why? Here's why. Because you were nothing more than break glass in case of emergency option. And you still are. And you will continue to be that as long as you work at that place. Sounds like he has influence anyway over the bosses. If he could get his girlfriend hired there, why would you want to be there unless you're still emotionally invested in seeing what happens with him and thinking you can change it? You can't. You can't. Don't be his break glass in case of emergency. Don't. You gotta leave. You gotta leave that job because this is some high school bullshit that's going on. And I know you've been around a while with me, okay? But I gotta call it as I say, this is for your own good. This is for your own good. Hopefully this is a wake-up call for you, Anonymous. Okay? Because you have too good of a job, and obviously you're too smart to be taken down by a Marxist sociopath. You got to take up the loss. You can't get him to be the person you want him to be ever. He's just not. You are nothing more than an emergency option. Break glass in case of emergency. I hope that helps. Thank you for your contribution and story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you guys. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance.